good morning. Welcome again to Double Talk. I'm Mark Steffen.
I'm Michael Mandel, and I get to listen to a lot of your things that happen to you during the week, right?
Well,
did something happen to you that you're a little peeved about this week?
Well, the great thing about this show, Michael, is
venting.
When you have your own TV show, you can vent your pet peeves, and by golly, that's just what I'm going to do.
This is not a pet peeve. This is just a minor thing that
that's true.
Peccadillo.
I guess a pet peeve.
Okay, let's
pet peeve of the week.
Let's spread it out to the city.
Well,
you were at a certain bank.
Well, I went to my bank, credit union, and I had a check to cash for $11.05. So I gave him the check.
Was that your royalties from that movie?
Actually, it was a residual check from a television show I did some years back, and they keep rolling in. And so she counted out $11. I had to sign on the electronic pad. She handed me the money, and I'm standing there, and there's no more money coming out. I said, don't I have some change coming? She says, 5 cents? Yes. Oh, you want that?
Everybody says banks build such large buildings. They're the only ones who have money. Now you know why.
Now we know why.
They nickel you.
Yeah,
nickel you.
So then she had to refigure everything. I had to re-sign again on the electronic pad for the extra 5 cents.
Did you have to show her your ID again?
I know. I think she bought it.
She remembered that?
Yeah, luckily.
Well, that's good. A lot of people were peeved this week on both sides of the fence about. Here's the thing about gay marriage, okay?
What is the thing about it, Michael?
The thing about gay marriage is now we have gay marriage in town, and people are still complaining about it. They're peeved. They are incensed, some of them, when they see a gay couple or a gay person for some reason. The same way I would think they might be incensed when they see, maybe a black couple or a black person. So I think this prejudice against the gay marriage is only prejudice, and we're taught not to be prejudiced.
Well, it used to be that way with mixed race
marriages.
Couples,
Yes. May, December weddings, remember,
Some people still look askance at that.
Oh, yes. Well, that's their own pet peeves. So I think the resistance to gay marriage might just be pet peeve. I think it was great. There was a large meeting on Tuesday. Billy Garrett, head of the county commissioners, made a clear and fair path to the support of Lynn Ellens's proclamation or whatever he did.
Lynn Ellens, the county clerk.
Yes, and it took 5 hours, but it got there in a peaceful, sedate, and honest way. And it turns out gay marriage is constitutional.
Well, they had everybody coming up on both sides of the issue stating their points for or against. But you would think after the first hour, you pretty much heard all the reasons for or against.
You know what was interesting about that? They made people come up. If they had the same thing, they couldn't say the same thing. I wasn't there. 5 hours, I'm never anywhere for 5 hours. But some people sat through it, and they said it was a wonderfully orchestrated argument. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad we have it. And then gives Bob Divin more work. So. Marrying.
Well, like they were saying in the paper the other day, the more marriages, the more it'll help the economy with
That's true.
Wedding cakes and wedding gowns and wedding and receptions and all that sort of thing that comes on the heels of weddings. So
great for that.
Economically, it's a good thing.
And if only 50% of them get divorced, hey, that's the national average anyway. So
yeah,
that's pretty fair.
More people getting married means more people getting divorced. That means more lawyers getting work handling the divorce cases. It's a win-win.
You can't lose. The same as legalizing marijuana. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're going to talk about.
We've already talked about that plenty of times.
You want to talk about this? Is a fun thing. The suicide by cop. That seems to be the thing these days.
Well, it was determined. It looks like now that the very last person that the city police killed.
The most recent.
The most
recent,
last. Right. The most recent in the trailer park has been apparently a case of suicide by cop. So it seems like if that's how you want to do it, the city police are more than happy to fall for it.
Well, first they hit the guy with the beanbag things, the beanbag guns, which hurt a lot, probably.
Well, that just annoyed him, and he went and got a gun, right?
Did you ever get hit by a paintball?
No. I ducked.
Well, sometimes you can't. Anyway, those hurt, and I guess the beanbag.
Beanbag hurts more.
If you get hurt, you watch people in movies. They have fights. They punch people in the jaw. Did you ever get punched in the jaw?
Sure.
How many times?
I'm not going to tell you.
In a row.
in a row. Well,
I mean, on TV, the people get punches in the jaw thousands of times in a row, and they still come up. I spit blood out.
Right, and the sound effects are great. You don't hear those cool sound effects in real life. I'll tell you that.
Beanbag guns would make sound effects.
And,
anyway, what's your opinion on suicide? Do you have any opinion there on suicide by cop?
I don't know. Sometimes it makes me think that the Las Cruces cops are trying to catch up with the Albuquerque police, seeing who can kill the most people.
Well, you know, we try to stay number 1 or number 50 in a lot of things in this state, so the competition's tough.
Well, but there's a lot of things going on this weekend.
Yes, let's get
Big
to
Labor Day
those.
weekend. You have Monday off, right?
Yes, I don't think I'm working Monday.
But I guess you always have Monday off, don't you?
No,
because we never do the show on Monday.
Yes, so that's why we can't do it.
Well, we have the.
Is that Sandra Bullock, that one right behind?
Yeah,
the
that's her.
Yeah, it looks
I
like
invited her down to attend the New Mexico Wine Harvest Festival.
Oh yes, because we are an up-and-coming wine area. Believe it or
true,
not.
we are. How many wine festivals a year do we have here now? 3 or 4?
Well, we have at least 2 over at the fairgrounds, both of which I like to attend because they're well worth going through. But you have to focus. You have to focus on the type of wine. You can't just go, oh, what kind of wine should I have? You go for a particular type of wine so you can compare them and you learn something about wines.
That sounds reasonable.
That way, when you leave the fair,
yes,
the cops don't pick you up because there are going to be plenty of cops on
I-10 this weekend. They're going to be all over there looking for soused drivers.
So we do have some good wineries here, and they're getting better. When we first started going to these festivals almost 20 years ago, it was not as worth talking about.
I used to say I don't get it with these New Mexico wines, but now
they're
starting to hold their own.
The DH-less combs are usually good. There are a lot of other smaller ones popping up. One of the special things I like, other than the $15 overall thing, you can pay an extra $10 and go to the DH-less combs wine pairing.
Okay.
And they give you the reserve wines, which are awesome. They're really good, and they give you foods, and it's great. It's a learning experience.
Well, you know what else we've got going on is the Festival of Fine Art out at the Holy Cross Retreat House.
So after you're drunk and in the mood,
go on down there. That's on South Main Street, south of Mesilla Park on the left.
That's art.
And the Franciscan Friars have been running that place. That's where the Renaissance Art Fair began in the early days.
That's right.
Yeah. Also is the Cusenberry Art Show, which is on Cusenberry Road right off of Picacho. It's an old farmhouse. It's now surrounded by the city.
So you're from here, theoretically.
And,
you
yes.
say Cusenberry. It's not Cusenberry?
Well, I knew the Cusenberry family.
Oh, you knew the Cusenberry.
They're gorgeous twin girls. And then, of course, the Hatch Chili Festival is going on in Hatch. And it's $5 a carload to get into that.
People. Yes.
Yep. So
that's always fun.
The famous Hatch Chili Festival.
So we're going to...
we've got a roll-in now.
We have a roll-in, yes.
We're devoting the rest of the show, basically, to the White Sands International Film Festival, which begins September 4th and runs through the 8th, right here in Las Cruces. And we're going to, later on in the show, we're going to be speaking with Chris Faivre from the board. But first, we're going to have an interview I did with Terence Faulkner of the Sun News.
It wasn't me. It was Terence Faulkner.
I'm speaking now with Terence Faulkner. He's a film buff. Would you call yourself a historian, too?
Absolutely.
Okay, and he also writes a column on films in the Las Cruces Sun News Pulse section every Thursday when you get your paper. Terence, thanks for talking with us here.
Thank you.
We're going to be primarily talking about the White Sands International Film Festival, which starts September 4th and runs through the 8th,
yes.
Right? Okay. But before we do that, let me start off with your interest in film and how you came to write about it and whatever else you do concerning film.
Sure. Thank you very much. I've loved film from a little kid. Watching movies with my mom and dad, and just really always had an interest. I remember going over movies with my mom after we would watch, you name it, Casablanca, whatever, all the classics that we used to enjoy as a family. So I also love to write. And so a few years back, I decided why not combine those two loves and start a website talking about and reviewing movies. And so that's what I did. And it's just been a wonderful journey all the way through, watching so many different films each year, every week, and having the opportunity to be able to have a column now in the newspaper to share with those that read it, and to be able to really enjoy the beauty of film. I love movies.
It's pretty much the American, would you say?
Yeah,
that and I get jazz are the two art forms I think we can claim although other countries do brilliant films, as we all know.
That and the hamburger.
Well, okay, if you want to call it an art form. What's the name of your website?
The name of my website is thefocusedfilmographer.com. And so kind of giving an idea of, I am focused on film, I love film, and everything that you will see here on my site is related to the subject of film.
Great. Now, you have been watching as many films as you can that are participating in the White Sands International Film Festival.
Correct.
Have you seen them all yet?
No, not even close. There are about 100 entries, including all the short films, the documentaries, the student shorts. There are a lot to go through, and of course the features are pretty long too.
Now, yeah, how many features are there?
I don't remember the exact number.
Do you know how many you've seen?
About maybe 10 of the features that I've seen.
What among those stand out as some of your favorites?
There are a couple that I've really enjoyed when it comes to all the different categories. Let me just put that out there to begin with. When it comes to the features, there's been more that I haven't enjoyed as much as what I have loved. I just recently watched one, the review just posted for one called Against the Grain, and it deals with a young man in inner city Oakland who decides to try to go against the grain of what everybody would expect of him, and is going to college with aspirations of being a neurosurgeon. And it actually has gotten a lot of accolades and appreciation at other film festivals, even getting a third screening I read just yesterday because of it. That was a very good feature.
Is this a narrative film, not a documentary?
That's correct. That is correct. It is a full feature, not a documentary.
Now, how about the short films? How do you like those?
Now, I love short films.
That's one of my favorite formats.
Yes. It's a challenge for a filmmaker to be able to get an idea across in 2 to 12 minutes or however long they may be. And there has been a whole host of wonderful short films.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, several. There's one I really loved called The Dress. And I got in touch with the filmmaker because I just enjoyed it so much. And I watched it probably about maybe 12 to 15 times. I watched that one. Just because I didn't understand it at first, but it was so beautiful and it got me back into watching it again. And then I thought I had my idea on what it was. And I watched it again and had another idea. I really enjoyed The Dress, but there have been so many shorts that have just been just a delight to watch.
Now, some of these films are not just made locally. We have several of those, but they come in from all over the country and even from other countries, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know 2 years ago the White Sands Festival showed my film, my short film. Let me give it a quick commercial right here. Lowriders, the movie. And it was gratifying when in that section of films that mine was shown in. Mine seemed to be the audience favorite.
Congratulations.
And I'll have to let you see it.
Yes, I'd love to.
And now, what else can we tell us about the festival? You'll be there during it.
Yes, I will.
Even though you've seen many of the films,
yes,
you'll be able to see some of the ones you haven't had a chance to see.
Yes.
Have you seen the opening night film, the Roswell feature?
Roswell, that film. No, this is one that regrettably I haven't been able to see, and I was trying to get the opportunity to watch it before it showed so I could have my review up for people to be able to read. But there was only one copy of it, and of course it had to go to all the judges.
Right.
So hopefully by the time that we're able to watch it, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. And I might be seeing it just along with you and everybody else there that evening.
Again, one by local filmmakers, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I think there were students here at one point, and then they went to Florida State, I believe, to get further education. Now they're back here making movies. Usually the people here who go to film school sadly have to leave here because there's no film jobs here. Partially, I do blame the city of Las Cruces for that, for not encouraging film production to come to Las Cruces. And we hope we can change that around.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons why I love the opportunity to be able to write for the film festival. When I went to the board, I said something that I really love to be able to see is I had the opportunity to work on set of The Avengers up in Albuquerque a few years back for several weeks, and I saw all the different things they brought in from the community, all the equipment, all that, and I said, this is wonderful and a wonderful opportunity. Why doesn't Las Cruces do this more? And I asked them the opportunity to be able to review for the film festival and be able to just let my site be the venue for other people to learn about what's happening here in Las Cruces, and hopefully help to spark, if anything, some interest of other people into and filmmakers into Las Cruces, because there's a great community here, and I'd love to be able to see that grow, and anything I could do to kind of help out with that and just share my love for film through that too. So that's something I really hope comes about.
Now this festival this year is several days longer than it was in previous years, as I understand it.
Yes, sir.
That means more films and more other activities. There's things besides films to participate with, seminars and workshops
yes,
and so forth. Plus, there will be an evening of giving a Lifetime Achievement Award to Lou Diamond Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be a lot of fun. And anything else you want to mention about the White Sands Film Festival?
I just have to say I'm really excited about it. I unfortunately did not get to attend it last year, and so I'm really excited to be able to be there this year. I had to miss it.
So did I.
And I didn't like that. There are a lot of films that were in there that I wanted to see. I wanted to see Zipper again. That was one from last year that I really enjoyed.
A Zipper, that sounds like it could pair well with Dress.
Ooh, I like that. They should play that back to back.
Zipper.
Yeah, Zipper and The Dress. That would be great. But there are just some really fantastic films. I would be remiss to not mention some of them, but I can't mention all of them.
Right.
You can visit on my site to see the different reviews and look for the schedule in the Pulse, and I believe the Bulletin is also running a schedule for that.
And I guess the festival itself has a website where you can get the schedule.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's nothing better than a film festival. I love going to film festivals. I've had my film in 7 of them, and there's nothing more fun really than attending a film festival with a lot of other filmmakers and film lovers. Well, Terence, thanks for joining us very much on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And Terence and I will see you all at the White Sands International Film Festival. Well, that pretty much
Hi, I'm Terence Faulkner.
tells you what you need to know about
some of the
Mr. Faulkner's view on films. Thanks, Terence, for joining us.
We did that at
interview.
the, what is it, Crimson Pig?
Crimson Pig Gallery was where we shot that. We should give them credit.
Yes, and the art was by Maria Cruz in the background. And you were wearing your lowrider shirt underneath your shirt just to publicize a film that nobody could see, but that's always good.
Well, I was wearing my lowrider shirt from my film Lowriders that played at the White Sands Film Festival.
So we're going to take a break now. I'm going to get out of this seat.
And I'll be joined next by Chris Faivre, who's on the board of directors of the White Sands International Film Festival. So join us right after these fabulous words.
See you next.
Welcome to La Buena Vida Women's Club, located away from the crowds but close to home. Come in throughout the day for Jazzercise, the world's dance fitness leader for nearly 40 years. Treat yourself to a relaxing massage, or unwind in the lounge area or outside on the balcony with friends. La Buena Vida Women's Club, located and designed with women in mind. For information, call Diane at 650-9721.
Hey, you, come here. Do you want to know the news? The Las Cruces channel is now on 7 days a week, so keep it right here.
Celebrate, celebrate, Fiesta Motors.
Come and see us today and discover why our service is second to none. In business for over 17 years, we have the right car for you. When you buy a vehicle from Fiesta Motors, we do everything possible to ensure your satisfaction. Located at the corner of El Paseo and Main. See you there.
Celebrate, Fiesta Motors, where buying a car is always a celebration.
And we're back on Double Talk. We're talking about the White Sands International Film Festival now, and joining me is Chris Faivre, who's on the board of directors of the festival.
That is correct.
Is this your first year doing so?
No, actually, I've been on the board for a few years now. This is the first year that I've been elected vice president. So.
Mm-hmm. And this is the 4th year that the festival has been in Las Cruces. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah.
I know they originally the festival started in Alamogordo, I guess, which is why it was initially called the White Sands Film Festival. And it moved here at the last moment, really, about 4 years ago. And it's been gaining momentum ever since. And this year proves to be the biggest and grandest so far, right?
We hope so. Yeah, we try and make it bigger and better every single year. This year, we brought in some guests that we think people are really going to get excited about. Some good films. I've been hearing some good stuff about all the films that'll be showing, so we're very excited.
Do you know about how many feature films are going to be on tap?
I want to say somewhere around 8 to 10, somewhere in that ballpark. And there's some good features. There's lots of shorts, and of course we have some great student films as well. So
and documentaries.
Documentaries as well, yes.
And these are going to be films that you won't have the opportunity to see really anywhere else, unless one of these films gets lucky, maybe winds up at Sundance and gets sold to a distributor. So the thing I love about film festivals is that you get to see films you would never otherwise get to see, and you get to hobnob with filmmakers and with film lovers from all over the country, really. How many people do you expect to be attending the festival this year?
I don't know. I mean, ticket sales have been pretty good. We've had some good response in the past, so I would say a few thousand people, attending the films and parties throughout the few days that we're having it. So yeah, we're looking for a good crowd.
And of course, it's not just screenings of films, which takes place at the Cineport 10 up at the mall, but there's other activities as well, such as there's workshops.
Yeah, so we have 2 workshops. The first workshop we'll be having will be writing for film, and that will have David Spence and Stephen Griffin will be talking, David Spence and Mark Medoff will be talking about writing for film. And I also believe that the writing staff from the movie Sanitarium will be there as well, which is a movie that Lou Diamond Phillips is in, and he's also the Lifetime Award winner this year, Lifetime Achievement Award winner. So we're hoping that he joins the panel as well.
Let me ask you, where will that take place, you know?
That will be at the Black Box Theater at 8:30 on Saturday morning.
Okay. And for that, if you have a festival pass, you're admitted to that?
Yes. If you've got a festival pass, you can get into that. If you have the VIP pass, you have access to all films, all workshops, and of course, all evening parties as well.
And then there's also an acting workshop.
There is.
At the Black Box, too?
Nope, that's at the Rio Grande Theater.
The Rio Grande Theater, that's good because it holds more people.
Right. That will be 10:30 on Saturday, and that will be actor Chris McDonald will be giving that one. People know him probably most famously from Happy Gilmore, where he played Shooter McGavin, but he's been in numerous television shows and movies over his long career. In fact, he did a film, Refuge, with Mark Medoff a few years back, and so we're really looking forward to having him at the festival. I think he will be a great asset for us to have. We've been trying to get him here for a couple of years, but he's so busy that we weren't able to get our schedules to mesh, but he was able to do it this year, so we're really excited.
I used to like him on, I think it was Boston Legal a couple of years ago.
Harry's Law?
No.
No.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It was Harry's Law with, yes, you're right. He was awesome in that series. I remember from the 80s, he would play the uppity fraternity rat.
Yeah.
From the rich fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
He did 2 or 3 of those, I think.
Yeah.
He's great. And then you mentioned parties.
Yes. So we have 4 different parties. So the first night, the opening night movie is Roswell FM, and that is done by David Spence and Stephen Griffin, both from Las Cruces. That's locally produced, so we're very excited about that film. And the after party for that will be in Mesilla at La Posta. So that should be a great evening.
And if you have the pass, again, that lets you into those parties as well?
Yes, if you have the VIP pass, you have access to all of the parties as well. So.
But if you have just the regular pass, you don't get into the parties?
No, you've got to have the VIP pass, exactly. If you want to get into the parties, you need to have the VIP pass, and you can buy those through the website, WSIFF.com. And I believe a VIP pass is $150. So.
VIP pass, $150. The regular pass that gets you into all the films, that's $75.
Correct.
$30 for students.
Yes.
And then if you only want to attend maybe 1, 2, or 3 separate workshops or screenings, you can buy those tickets at the box office. I'm assuming at Cineport 10.
Correct.
I would get there early of the day that you want to see it. It's a film festival, so it's fun hanging out anyway if you're going to be early. And once you're there, you might decide, well, as long as I'm here, I might as well get a couple of more tickets because you made the drive all the way up there. You might as well. I always have a lot of fun up there. Do you know how many theaters are going to be operating at once?
I think we have either 2 or 3 theaters going with movies, just depending on what part of the schedule it is, if it's if it's the shorts or the feature. So I think we have at least 2 theaters going at all times. So
yeah, one of the drawbacks I found was if you want to see this film, but you also want to see this film, and they happen to be showing at the same time, now you really have a tough choice to make. Some festivals will rescreen films that have conflicts, like on the last day, so that you can pick up what you missed before. Is that possible?
yeah, I think that we've taken some of those things into account this year. We've had some people mention that in the past, and so we've tried to configure the schedule so that there are opportunities for you to see films that you may have missed early on.
Great. I used to work for the largest film festival in the world, at non-competitive, which at the time was FilmX in Los Angeles, the LA International Film Exposition, and they did that. Any film that had conflicted screening-wise, they re-showed. And you were able to tell which ones were going to re-show on Sunday so that you could see everything if you wanted to.
Sure.
What other events do you see coming, say, for next year's festival? Is it too soon to say?
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to get through this year's festival, but we've got an eye on next year's festival. You know, there's always things through the process that you say, oh yeah, we're going to do that next year, or an opportunity comes along that you didn't realize you had and you want to take advantage of that next year. So we will start planning next year shortly after this year, and we'll probably try and hold it about the same time as we did last year. It seems to be a good time of the year.
It is.
Students are back. Everyone's back in school, everybody's settled in, so it's a good opportunity for Las Cruces.
It's not quite as hot as it was in the summertime.
Exactly.
So the amount of films that you get submitted must be, do you know what the ratio is? Is film submitted to ratios accepted?
I don't know what that is, but we do get a fair number of films submitted. I'm always surprised every year at how many entries we do get. And the judges have a tough choice when they have to pick winners, and the selection committee has a tough choice when they have to go in and actually view and screen the films as well. So this year will be some great films, probably the best selection of films the festival has had. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And I also want to mention Lou Diamond Phillips is our Lifetime Award winner this year, and we'll be screening Stand and Deliver, La Bamba, and I believe Young Guns are the movies that he's selected to screen this year. So if you want to see some of his earlier films,
awesome.
This would be an opportunity.
And opening night, you mentioned Roswell FM will be the film.
World premiere.
World premiere.
The first time it's shown anywhere, yeah, so we're very excited about that.
And then there will be a party after that, is that correct?
Correct. That party's in La Posta. Thursday night's party's at Hotel Encanto. Friday night's party is at St. Clair's. That's the Lifetime Achievement Award, and the awards are Saturday night at the Rio Grande.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Chris, for joining us. That's all the time we have right here on Double Talk, and I'll see you at the White Sands International Film Festival.